Okay, now that the name tag lanyard has a base, we've cut the hole into it. Before we move on again, just to double check and make sure our measurements are good, we're going to go ahead and click our shape. We will check that the height is 3 millimeters tall, and then from the sides we can see that we are 20 millimeters deep and 110 millimeters long. So everything is good and how we want it to be there. So now we get the fun part. Our hard part was done with the base, and now we get to add some shapes on top. So there's a lot of customization that can happen here. There's a lot of different ways the students can use any of the things from the TinkerCAD library. For now, we're just going to write our name. We might get into a few other things too, but we're going to go ahead, and to make this easy, we're going to use the work plane tool, and we're going to click that, bring it over to our work plane, and you can see if you run your mouse around, it tries to stick to any surface. So it doesn't matter if it's the side of our name tag or if it's the top. Even on the inside, it will try to adhere to the circular shape on the inside. So you kind of have to be careful, but we're going to go ahead and stick it on the flat part of our name tag on top. And now that the work plane's elevated, we see we have an orange color, so that lets us know that it has been lifted up. And if you would use your cube and rotate around, you can see that the work plane in fact is now on top of our shape. So I'm going to go ahead and dial this back down again. There's a lot of ways to put your name on top. I'm just going to stick with the basic shapes library. You can see there actually is a text and numbers category, but honestly it's just easy to use the basic shapes. We don't have to go out of that. So the text tool is the same between the two, but I'm going to go ahead and click the text tool, pick it up, and then we will bring it over and stick it on top of our name tag. So it's very, very tall. So the first thing I always have my students do, or the first thing you should do, is change the height. We really only need it to be about 2 millimeters tall. And then we have to press enter to set that, and it will shrink it down right there. So now we have a text tool on top, and where it says text here, we can pick and we can type in whatever name that we want it to be. So I'm just going to pick a random name. I'm specifically picking one that is too big so you can see how to resize that using the free resize tool. There is different fonts you can try out. It just depends on your personal preference as far as what you want these to look like. So I'm going to stick with the multi-language for now. Again, feel free to play around to customize it how you want to do that too. So, and the other thing I like to do is change it from a similar color. I try to make sure that they contrast. So I'm actually going to pick white just to make sure that you can see the difference between the name and the back of the name tag here. So I have that done. Just to make mine easier right now, I'm going to close the library to get myself some more room here, and you can clearly see my name is way too big. So I'm actually going to click top up here on my view cube, and I can see that my name is definitely way too big. So if you don't know exact measurements, that's where these little black boxes come in kind of nice, because you can click and hold down and you can just run your hand in. You can kind of shrink it down if you want to. You can click a corner box and change the height and the width at the same time. So I'm going to make mine about that big, and the reason for that is I'm going to add some extra things to my name tag as well, but this takes care of your name. And you could make it, if you just wanted just your name, you could make your name fill up the entire page pretty easily. So that would actually be enough of a design. If I rotate around, you can see that the name sticks up from the name tag base as well. So that would actually be all you really need to do as far as getting your name on there.